Denise Mazzola is a certified professional dog trainer with over 20 years experience training dogs and people. If you've got a doggy dilemma, Denise can help.
I'm Denise Mazzola. Welcome to another episode of Doggy Dilemmas. Today we're going to meet Ollie, who's right here. He's a schnoodle, which means he's a poodle schnauzer mix. There's another dog here, Fritz, and Karen and David. So let's meet everybody and see how we can help them today. Hi guys. Hey, how are you?
Denise, how are you?
Good. All right, so remind me, Ollie is how old?
Ollie is about 1.5 years.
Okay, so adolescent still. And just so Fritz is in the picture, how old is Fritz there?
Fritz is about 6.5, 7 years old.
Okay, and he's a purebred schnauzer.
He's a purebred schnauzer.
Okay, good. And what issues are we having with Ollie?
Ollie's got a lot of issues. A lot of barking, a lot of jumping on people. Very hard to get him restrained when somebody comes in the house.
Okay, we saw some of that when we came in.
Yeah.
Good.
He seems to be anxious a lot. So, and I don't really know a lot of times what sets him off.
Okay.
He tends to follow me around.
Okay.
So he could start barking at something in that shrill bark that he
Yeah, that's the
And-
poodle bark.
has. Right, even though you tell him to quiet, and we've tried, he still will continue to bark.
Okay. Barks when people come in. Is he barking out the window?
Yes.
Okay.
He'll bark at a leaf blowing across the yard. He's
Really?
got it. Yeah.
So he's very visually sensitive.
Yes.
How about sound sensitive? If a car drives by.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So is barking number one priority?
I would say barking is number one priority,
Okay.
followed closely by jumping.
Okay.
Because
Barking.
he can launch himself off you and actually almost face you in the eye. He can jump really, really high.
He is a high jumper. He'll
Okay.
easily jump that high when
Okay.
standing.
And we think there's anxiety. And what makes you think there's anxiety?
I don't know, he just seems to be kind of a nervous dog. I mean, he's always in motion, always moving around.
Okay. And so he's unable to settle.
No, he doesn't settle right.
Okay.
He settles at night.
What have you tried? Have you tried anything for the barking?
We tried to tell him to be quiet. We
Okay.
tried to quiet, and we've tried to put our hand in front of him.
When he's barking and when he's trying to jump. He does seem to respond to a hand in front of him once in a while, but then he'll like sit, and then the minute you take the hand away, he just starts all over again.
Okay. And I get the feeling that his behavior right now is not normal.
It is not normal.
Maybe
No.
he's interested in my bait bag, but normally it seems like he'd be barking and carrying
He'd
on.
be
and
jumping. Well,
Okay.
I don't know.
Looks like he'll just always antagonizing somebody when they sit down.
Okay.
What do you got? What's in it for me?
Okay. And yesterday, or you were sharing earlier that you had a couple people in your office and he just barked the whole time.
The whole time, and he was jumping on both of them the whole time. The only time he wasn't is when I was holding him. And then he wanted to get down so he could go and jump.
So you were physically holding
I
him
was
on your lap.
physically holding him.
Okay. All right. So for barking, you just tried quiet, hand up, no collars, no shaker cans or anything like that.
No.
Okay. Good. And for jumping, excuse me, what have you tried for that?
Just to try to push him and say, down, off.
Okay. To you when you come in,
What's
or
that?
to people? I mean, so if he
To
jumps
everyone.
on me,
Yeah, he'll do it to us.
okay.
Yeah.
So when he jumps on you guys, you're trying to push him off. And
Yes.
when he jumps on
He does it
others-
more to her than me.
We pull him back and say, off.
Okay. Okay. And for guests that come in, are they instructed to do anything in particular?
Ignore the dogs.
Okay. And are they able to?
It's tough when the dog continues to jump on him.
Okay. Whenever I teach, any kind of a class or anything, and we talk about jumping, it's really hard to control our family and friends. So part of what's going to happen is I'm going to give you some management techniques to
Okay.
prevent the behavior from happening. Because everything a dog does is a behavior. And I think as humans we think of behaviors as sit, down, come and call, leave it, all the things that we teach. Yet really aggression is behavior, barking is a behavior, jumping is a behavior. And the more they practice, the better they get at it. So part of the answer is going to be, let's get it to stop through management and then teach them to do something else. Now, Karen, you're pretty good with dogs, so what does Ollie know? What English, what commands will he follow?
Unfortunately, he doesn't know a lot, but he can sit,
I like
he
sit.
can sit, and he can shake. Good boy.
Good.
Good boy. He doesn't do other. I'm trying to work with other. Can you do other? No, other. I tried to teach him to sit pretty. He can't do that either yet.
Okay.
He's just so distracted
Okay.
that it's very difficult. I was hoping as he got a little older, he might pay a little more attention. Because I have patience. It's just, I've done it. This took a long time, just the sit and the shake on. Just because he can't pay attention long enough.
Okay. So what are the other behaviors we'd like him to know?
I'd like him to learn how to go down.
Okay.
I've been working on that one too. Just by, saying sit, 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 sit. Can you sit? Yes,
Good.
thanks. Down. Go down. Go down. Good boy. That's a good boy. That's a good boy. And I try to get him to stay.
Okay.
He's better today, but
I
typically,
I was waiting for this, like, jump in.
yeah, I'm ready to get up and I'm starting to jump on you again.
Okay, so we want to lay down. Anything else that you want to teach him?
Well,
So not barking, not jumping.
yeah, so I like to teach him tricks, so my dog Hannah knows a ton of tricks.
Okay, and what makes some of those be?
She can do up, she can speak, she can play dead, she can roll over.
Okay, so we're not going to teach Ollie to speak.
No, because he's
No.
good at speaking
Right,
already.
no speaking at all. And the reason is, once we start to teach a dog sit down, shake, maybe roll over, some behaviors, often what you will get is when you start to feed the dog or pull out the cookie jar or something, the dog will go through their repertoire of behaviors.
Right,
Which is fine.
Right.
But we don't want to teach him barking because
Right.
that will get worse.
Right.
He's already doing it, so we're just going to try to eliminate that one completely. Okay, I'm going to show you a couple different things. He's being really good.
he
so
is being great.
we'll have to try to get the naughtiness out of him.
I should have you come every day.
I'll just move with you.
Yes, it's great, yeah.
All right. So I'm going to make a trade with him. So I can just take the bone.
Yeah.
Not all that high value bone.
He's not aggressive, food aggressive at
Good
all.
boy. So if you were going to jump on me, I'm going to try to solicit it. You gonna come jump? He says no because you've already done it. So what I'm going to have you do, you had shared that somebody had said turn your back to them.
Right,
And if it's going to work, it's going to work. You'll know it right away.
Right.
So the fact that you still have jumping and you're still turning back is not
it
working.
doesn't work.
Yeah, what I'm going to have you guys do is body block him, which is to step into his space.
Okay,
Okay? And I did it to him a couple times in the kitchen, but he's just not aroused right now. So it's to step not on him, but see how he backs up? Good boy. It's adding pressure, good boy. And you can take a step back as part of the reinforcement.
Okay.
It doesn't have to always be about food. But I'm going to apply pressure, and then I can take the pressure off by taking a step back.
okay. When do you take the step back?
That's taking the pressure off now.
Okay.
It's like saying thank you.
Okay, all right.
Now in the kitchen, I had to step into him a couple times because he was just, he's a, schnoodles are kind of dancing dogs. And he's
Right.
very light with his feet on
Yes.
me, so you just have to keep moving into him. The goal is not to step on his feet, but if you step on his feet, it's almost a little bonus.
Okay.
Because it's an accident, but hey, you're in my way.
Okay,
He needs to learn that this is your dance space and that's his dance space.
all right.
And you should not be deferring or yielding to him. He needs to defer to you.
Okay.
So he has to get out of your space. Good boy. Yes. So maybe we'll do another doorbell ring later and see if we can get some more jumping.
It may be the food.
Yeah.
Sure.
Because the one thing he knows is sit. Yeah. So, body blocking for jumping, and we'll practice that in a minute here. So we're going to start with the down. Now the way that you did it is okay, but there's not a lot of it. There's not a lot in it for him.
Okay,
There's not a lot of motivation for him unless he wanted to work to avoid you pulling his feet out.
okay.
Okay. And I think David said earlier that he's always asking, Ollie's asking, what's in it for me?
Right.
Right? Right, so we'll start this. So this is just some chicken, which should be 7, but should be yummy. We'll start from the sit. So I'm going to let him sniff this. So he obviously knows what I have. Down between his front feet. And he's going to nibble now. So he's getting a piece there. He's getting a little piece there. And I'm going to watch his front feet to come out. If he stands up, I will very sort of dramatically remove the food. So standing up makes the food go away, keeping your butt down, and following it will keep the food coming. So every dog has to sort this out in that, what am I doing to keep the food coming? And I'm going to reload because you don't want to get him finally in the down position and then be out of treats.
Okay.
You want there to be a big bonus when he finally gets there. You're sort of grabbing my thumb.
So that's real chicken.
Yep, that's just boiled chicken. So it's usually yummy, but not upsetting to their stomachs. So he's repositioning nicely into the sit. He's still focused. So when he's nibbling at my hand, I actually can watch his backside to know what it's doing. Let's see if he repositions. It took me 5 days to get my Boston Terrier into it down. So he's not yet moved his front feet. So now he's bending his elbows right here.
Oh yeah, I see him, he's crouching more.
He's offering the paw, which is right, something that he knows. Oh, maybe she just wants me to wave to her.
Back feet up.
Sit. See if he, so the elbows are still very bent. And he's never, he doesn't, we're requiring him, even though I'm luring him, he is having to think about, dogs learn by what works for them and what doesn't work for them. So he's trying to sort out what's keeping the food coming,
Okay.
all right? So the answer to me, for him, is keeping your butt down until he starts to stretch out.
Okay, since I got that.
Good pick that for you. I'll do one more and give that a break. Actually, I want to have you do it. Because I want to just be able to see your, whoever. So I'm going to give you 3 big pieces.
Okay.
And hopefully you can just sort of squeeze them out.
Okay.
Not the pieces of it, let them just sort of nibble at it. Good. And slowly. Stop. Good. Over 10. Good. Training like this will also serve to tire out his brain a little bit. With the kind of energy that he has.
Some is better than none.
Yes. And that's good. He's got his elbows and his wrists, and he's up on his front toes. He just does not move that front foot. Good. Do one more, and then I'm going to show you one more thing. How we might be able to do this. So close. So close. Up on his toes. Move it away just a little bit. Ooh, he self-corrected. Move it just a little bit. Just a little bit and stop. Good. All right, let me show you one more thing.
Okay.
So this one, there's a little calisthenics. Come here. And we're going to try to get him under our leg. First time I'm just going to let him come under. Good, he doesn't have any issues with that. And so this time, right here, as he comes under, I'm going to slowly lower my leg. I want you to give him up the first time. I don't want to go through. You just did it. Come on. You gonna come this way? that was a little sharky. I don't think you need to do that. It's right there. We're gonna lay a trail. Right there. So he's thinking, right? I mean,
Right.
it's not that he's stupid. He's just solving the problem a little bit differently than I was hoping he would by going around.
Now, why do you want him to go under your leg?
Well, I was hoping if he'd go under my leg, then when he got halfway under, you slowly drop your leg.
Yeah,
And that puts him in the down position.
okay,
Then you can pull it up and you can just, and if the dog will stay there, you can feed, 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 feed. So we can at least get a sense of what we're looking
Okay.
for. So he went through the first time. It's sort of funny that he won't go through this time. Good boy. And the point with the leg is, good boy. So he's a little crouched up in the front, but he still went down. When you use your leg, you get a much more even pressure that doesn't elicit the oppositional reflex.
Okay.
It just pushes him down.
okay.
So you can do a combination. Let's try that one. Let's do the one.
Here's
Do the counselors. Oh, you still got some. Okay, you try that.
Oh, you want
Yeah,
to try?
Go ahead.
Okay. Ollie?
So when he gets halfway under, keep your hand on the floor. Yes, now, sir, sufficient down.
You want to say anything?
No, and just take your leg off now. Make sure he'll, yep, and keep feeding him in the down position. Yep, and just keep your leg off him.
Toss a piece here.
So see how his hind end, I call that sphinx?
Yeah.
I can show you how to fix that, but
So, right,
Because he
he's
should be
always in
relaxed.
the ready to go.
yes, I want him relaxed. Good,
That's a good boy. That's a good boy.
good.
Good boy.
So that will help him either way. You can do the lowering down that we just started with. And that's just going to take a little bit of time, but he's making progress because the elbows are bent and then the wrists get bent and then at some point he's going to put a foot out. So you can do, I would do 3 to 4 a
Okay.
day if you wanted to. And just,
Okay.
And then just let him think about it until the next day. And I don't know, does he have a problem? He might prefer the rug over the cold floors. You can just play with that and see what's going to happen.
And do I tell him good down? Do I say anything once he gets in the down position?
I wouldn't say anything until it's fluid.
Okay.
Until you can take that chicken one piece, bloop, he goes right down, and then I would label it whatever you want it to be.
Okay, all right.
Now, what do you say when he jumps on you?
Off.
Good. So you can say lie down or down for the down. Some
Okay.
people say get down to get off me.
Okay.
And you can't have down mean 2 different things.
Okay.
It's not fair to him. It just won't work that way. Okay. Now, he's not barking, but one of my suggestions is, and I know you guys are moving, is that you use a leash for some management.
Okay.
So if you know that people are going to come over,
All right.
he should be leashed before they come.
You can take the GPS off if you want.
I'm sorry, I want to talk about that after.
Okay.
And you can just keep him with you. If he's learned the down, you can ask him to down. You can put the leash under your foot, and then you can continue to feed him.
Okay.
His kibble,
Oh,
just like
okay.
any chicken.
So I did that yesterday, but he continued to pull and bark and I want to get out of here.
Right, because he doesn't have enough English yet. So
Okay.
once he knows, oh, lie down, oh, and I'm going to get paid for staying here, it'll
Okay.
be hopefully more worth his while
Okay.
for staying down than it will be for barking and everything.
Okay.
Do you feed him out of brain toys at all? Are you familiar with brain toys?
Those things that you go and you lick in and you play
The
with.
food's
Yep.
in the middle, kind of.
Right.
Maybe
Yep,
I
there's
give
a
it-
whole
Yeah.
variety of them. And they have- So you could also feed him out of a brain toy. So this is a fairly easy one.
Okay.
This one I call it my phone toy because when I'm on the phone, I'll just drop some kibble or treats in here and drop it on the floor for the dog. So
Okay.
they'll be busy. Does he start to act up when you're on the phone?
Sometimes.
So it's not like children.
Of course
on
he,
the phone.
of course he's barking while I'm on the phone. You're absolutely right. Because I'm always walking over here and shutting the door because he's barking.
Right, so give him something else to do.
Okay.
If you know that there are times that are going to cause him to bark, as much preventative as we can do. Again, we don't want him practicing all that. So different size treats in here,
Okay.
and then he can roll them around on the floor. And I'm sure with his food motivation, I'm just going to put a few hot dogs and other things in here. Yeah, I know. Not a lot of impulse control. Oh, I see that. Let me just put that in my mouth. He works on that. So this will also cause him, he needs to use his brain more.
Okay.
Poodles, this half poodle are the most cerebral breed of dog there is, and they're hunters. Right?
I didn't know that.
We forget that poodles are hunters because they're so sort of fluffy and pretty to us, but they are hunters. So if you don't give him something to do with that brain of his, he's going to find everything else in the world to do, as he already has.
Yes, he does.
Yeah. So this one is going to have to roll around. It's a little easier with kibble. Oh, look. So some dogs push it around. My Boston Terrier carries it upstairs and then drops it, so it drops down the stairs.
Oh, great idea.
Shoots stuff out. Yeah, this one is too big for him. But Kong, even that size wouldn't be too big for him.
Oh, it wouldn't? Okay.
And you can do peanut butter, almond butter, wet dog food.
Okay.
His portion is probably such that he could probably eat out of this.
Okay.
And once he's proficient, so you put the wet dog food in or whatever it is going to be, it doesn't have to be a lot, and then pack it with the kibble, and you put it down. Initially, he's just going to get a big reward right away. Wow, that's a lot of fun. And then you can make it a little more difficult by packing it a little bit harder, and then you can start to freeze them. So you can have them in the freezer all ready to go. For him, I get a bunch of them.
Okay.
And then I always leave a little opening. Like, see how this one has some opening in there?
Oh, it has kibble in it too.
Yep, I
Oh,
put
okay.
dog food and peanut butter in this morning. So I would freeze it like this.
Okay.
And then, when I take it out of the freezer, I would I'd either freeze it with, this is too big for him, but with a bully stick sticking out, a backbone dog biscuit sticking out, something for instant gratification.
Okay. And bully sticks are okay to give them?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yep. You could also just add some fresh wet dog food and kibble if you wanted to.
Okay.
And just as a side note, if he has any sort of stomach upset or diarrhea, some dogs can't tolerate peanut butter. And you won't know that until you give it to them.
We'll find out.
Right. So when those folks were over in your office, you would say, oh, just a minute, and then you're going to get him a brain toy to occupy himself with, to do something else. He could feed
Great idea.
He could, look right there. So this one's easier for him because he just has to lick it. This one has some better stuff in it, but I think if you put dry kibble in here, and you're going to have to roll it around a little bit for him.
Show him how.
Yeah,
Okay.
or he's just going to walk away. Because he doesn't have, one, he doesn't have the impulse control, and two, he's never worked for anything.
Okay.
So, he's like, what? It's not just in a bowl anymore? You can't just eat whatever you want. So this would be the size that I would get. And
Okay.
all your dogs can have them.
I'll get a bunch of them.
You could also do, these are called flossies. So it's a tendon, it's just twisted. This probably won't last him too long, but it's still something that he can chew on. And you need to introduce the thing slowly to his system so he doesn't get
What's that made of?
This is a tendon.
Okay.
Yep, so this is,
Like a...
it's not rawhide, it's
Okay.
much more digestible than rawhide is.
Okay.
And bully sticks are good too, you just don't need that kind of a big one. Now, what kind of toys do you have for him? Does he like to play with toys? He had the bone.
He does. Well, here's one right here because we have a,
The dogs have a toy box.
the dogs have a toy box.
Okay, good.
I've gotten them some toys that are made of fire hose
Oh, yeah.
because they're voracious chewers.
Yep.
He and Hannah, that's not here today.
Yep.
But they also take the guts out, and he eats these. So I'm trying to be careful to only buy, he'll eat he's a paper dog. He'll eat any paper, any white thing.
Okay, okay.
So
So there
I have
are
to be
some
careful.
toys that are stuffless.
Yeah.
Have you seen those that just
Yeah.
don't have any stuff in them? Yep, you could get those from him. Now this can be a great brain toy too, because you can, again, this one's just probably too big for him, but you can slide a bully stick through here,
Okay.
and then you can sort of cement it in there with some peanut butter, and
Okay.
you can freeze that.
Oh, okay.
Then this is gonna take him a while to get through.
Okay.
You can not do the bully stick, then you can just do like whatever, cream cheese, peanut butter, some kibble on both ends, then that's a toy too. So
Okay.
either way, these are great bones.
Yeah, I have a bunch of those.
Good. All right, so let's see how he eats it. You're not gonna work on that? Maybe fix well. Now, for the barking, I'm gonna set him up. Let's see if he's gonna get, oh, he did, he got a piece of chicken on that. That will probably get pretty easy for him pretty quickly. Once he figures out that rolling it around stuff is gonna come out.
I love that.
Yeah.
What a great idea.
Yep. So, but this can be, and if you're worried about weight and you know that you're going to have times that you need him to be quiet, then don't feed it his full portion and put some of it in brain toys for him
Okay.
throughout the course
Yeah,
of
that's
the
a
day.
great idea. Because I have people in the office a lot, and he's a pain.
Yeah.
For the barking
And that
jumping.
pool
Yeah.
barking, ooh, that would be crazy.
It's very shrill.
Okay, so I'm going to have one of you go ring your doorbell so that he'll start barking.
Do you want to hold him?
I got it.
You can get it.
I got it. Oh, you're being really good today. So, one thing, keeping him on leash. Come on back in. And now I'm going to do what's called a Tellington touch. Good boy. Which is you're going to take him by the collar, and you're going to use your thumbs from his nose down to his ears until he lick lips or makes a mouth movement.
Okay.
And I say, in my house, I say quiet before I do that.
Okay.
And he's pretty quick about, he's pretty quick about that. Good boy. So, the first dog I ever did it with, I had to do it for literally about 2 minutes. And you can feel the tension. So it's a Tellington touch method, which is, that's a stress shake off. Get it all out of the system. You have to be able to get them, so you're going to have him on a leash.
Okay.
I would use this technique for those random acts during the day when he starts barking.
Okay.
And it's a leaf blowing by, or, it's nothing quite as stimulating as a potentially stranger coming in the house. Okay? So for those times, you're going to say, I would say quiet. You take both hands under the collar, and you're going to use your thumbs right down his face until he licks his lips, like that. Good boy. And sometimes you can feel, he doesn't feel like he's carrying too much tension, but you can sometimes feel this tension in their jaws, and that's really what you're trying to relieve.
Okay.
So I'm going to have you just try that, even though he's not barking. So you normally say quiet or something?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's have you say that.
Okay.
And then slide your hand, and you can both give it a shot.
Okay. Quiet.
Yep, until he licks. Good. See, he's licking.
There we go. Good boy. Good boy.
Good. So the lip licking and the mouth movement just tells you that he's thinking and he's releasing some of that.
Okay.
Okay. So, when you start this, depending on your day, you may feel like you're doing it all the time. And you may, depending on how much you bark. So there's going to be some of this preventative, keep him busy, keep his brain occupied, as well as teaching him to be quiet by using the Tellington touch method.
All right.
Okay. I have had great luck with it. The key is consistency, that you both do it and he just doesn't get a free-for-all barking.
So when somebody comes to the house or the doorbell rings and he starts barking, just start doing that right where he's trying to bark?
Yes, you
Okay.
certainly can. I'm going to show you one more thing for the doorbell. I would start it with people coming into the house. I would start it with this leaf blowing and
Okay.
the random little barks that he does. And I also have a schnoodle that comes to my house for daycare every once in a while, and he has that shrill bark, and I leave him on a leash, and I say quiet, I pick up the leash, I bring him in, he's then I tell him to touch the massage, he licks, and then he stops, and I have to do it a couple of times to get him, once he comes back into my house, you're like, oh yeah, that's right, okay, let's just stop barking.
Yeah.
And then when he's quiet, I reinforce the quiet.
Okay.
If I have nothing else but good dog, what a good boy, and pat him. If I haven't had my bait bag on, then I will absolutely treat the quiet.
Okay.
Right? If he's getting all of his attention for barking and being bad, then you're just going to get barking and being bad.
Right.
But if he starts to get really nice attention and reinforcements, because we want to pay him for the good behavior, for the being quiet, for the not jumping on people, then he'll do more of that.
Okay.
Okay, but right now the barking, and barking is part of the breed. It's his sensitivity. You know, I don't think he's a dog that requires medication at this point or anything like that. He needs more training so he knows more English, so you can communicate with him a little bit more. And he needs some more brain toys so that he can figure out, oh look, there's something else to do. Oh good, I was gonna pick up, bring it back. Oh look, one came out, great. Look at that. But I want to practice some of the body blocking with you guys as well before we do something else. So, oh, good boy. Now he's getting the hang of that. So this one might become too easy for him. He left one piece, but that's what he'll come back for. So what you can do is if you put different size treats in there, they'll come out at different times.
Oh, okay,
The
good.
big one may never come out, and it'll block some of the other littler ones. So that's nice. So now he's using his foot, he's using his nose, and he's bringing it back to the center of the room, which happens to be really nice for us today.
So he's going to learn. He's
Oh,
going
yeah.
He's going to continue to learn how to get this out
Right.
and then we'll get him a more difficult one.
Yeah, yeah. And I can show you some of those before I go. So when you said, oh, he's going to get in your bag, and whenever I have to like zip the bag and put it up
Right.
high, like that's a dog he's already thinking and trying to figure out stuff. We just need to make it productive for our purposes,
Okay.
and not just for his purposes, which is.
And I think you're right. I think he's bored.
Yeah, he's very bored, and he's just having a good time. Oh, I can jump in the window and bark like crazy, and and if you really don't want him to continue barking, I would keep him out of the window. And I don't know what the house is like in Vermont, if he prefers the carpet. That's very funny. All right, let me see. I'm not.
He likes that bag.
There's all kinds of good things. But I'll show you. All right. I'm going to run out. I want to get a couple of other toys I have in my car. So. Look at all the toys I brought. Good boy. All right, so just to give you an idea of all the different brain toys that exist. Oh, I did grab 2 bucks. Hang on.
I have those.
Good. And replaceable discs?
They eat them really fast.
Okay. Too small? Like, is it this size?
It's a little bigger one. It's a blue one.
And he eats this really fast.
Yeah, both my dogs.
Okay.
Hannah and Ollie do. Fritz doesn't really.
Okay. And you can stuff the other side.
Yes, you
Okay.
can. Yeah,
so
good
you
point.
can do both. This one is too small. I would get this is a small, I'd get a medium. But have you seen this one? So this, peanut butter, cream cheese, wet food,
Okay.
kibble, you can make it as big. Oh, it's not really very interesting. So,
Oh, I love that.
right, so you can control how difficult it is.
Okay.
When he gets really good, you can close it right down.
Okay.
And if he's an eater of toys, then you want to watch him to make sure he's not eating the
Getting
purple
toys.
stuff as he breaks it off. So
Okay.
you probably want to supervise this one with him.
Okay.
This one might be a little big for him. There might be a medium size. And what I do with this is, again, I do something sticky inside. You can do whatever you want. And then I use, again, the bullet sticks. or long dog biscuits. Really, you just need to be as creative as you can think of. So I'll put the peanut butter, the kibble, and then I'll often put something right through the center, and then you can freeze it.
Okay.
So I would do, half the size of this one. I know you want this.
And give it to him frozen.
Yep, you can
Okay.
have it frozen, you can do partially frozen, then again, add some fresh sort of wet stuff for that instant gratification, particularly because he's not savvy yet at solving puzzles.
Okay.
And once he is much more savvy, then he'll work harder. But I don't want him to give up either
Okay.
too quickly. I know you really want that. Look at these. You have to wait. And this one, you might really like this.
I've seen those. I just don't know if you can figure out how they work.
Put his portion of dog food
Okay.
and make sure that it'll come out
Okay.
the opening. Put the bottom on. And then you'll have to help him like with that. This one's a little more difficult, so he'll need some assistance. And you just put it on the floor and some dogs will hit it this way. My yellow lab holds it this way and tips it. And you can see that on my website. There's a whole show on brain
Okay.
toys. Tips it. The Boston Terrier carries it around and then she knocks it with her feet.
Oh,
But
okay.
she'll work at getting the food out.
Okay.
And that once he works at it and realizes, oh, there's food coming out of here, this could take him a while.
Okay.
You never know. And just watch, even if he eats this off, you can still use it without that in there.
Okay.
It just makes it a little more challenging. So that's a tug-a-jug. This is a little big for him. Not necessarily a brain toy, but a nice chewing, keep him busy. These are Naugahyde. These are edible. You unscrew these ends so you can replace them. You can just put one on. You don't have to have two on. And then all the dogs in my house, it just becomes self-reinforcing to chew on this even without replacing these.
Okay.
But initially, you can certainly do that.
Okay.
And, I like that one too. And, it's not a brain toy because he's not getting food out, but he's definitely thinking about how to pull these off and,
Okay.
hold it in his paws and it's, something like that. So I think that he's bored. He needs more to do. And I know that you're going to be able to give him more to do. The training is definitely going to help teach him English so that we can communicate a little bit more with him. The sort of hyper anxiety, once he understands down, then I would like you to spend some time purposefully revving him up and then turning him off. Right
Okay.
now, he just knows how to rev up.
So when he jumps, tell him down.
When he jumps, you're going to step into him and body
Okay,
block
push
him.
him.
And
Okay.
you don't need to say anything to him.
Okay.
You can just body block him enough times. And he just isn't doing it now, but he does that little dancey thing. You may need to continue to walk into him until he finally gets off.
Okay.
I've not had it not work. Sometimes with dogs, he's a little bit small. You can hold their feet. But he's not even going to jump on me. Why are you not doing it? There. So you could hold him.
Okay.
You have to hold him until he's uncomfortable.
Okay.
And for him, I'm not sure when that's going to happen.
It'll take a while.
Right. We're not squeezing,
Okay.
but we want it, it's a little aversive. We want him to say, wow, that didn't really get me anything. I don't want to do that again.
Okay.
So he's pulling a little bit, but not much. So I'm not going to let him down yet. So as he struggles, I'll just hold enough to hold him.
Okay.
And this is something that the two of you can do. Again, I'm going to tell you cannot control your family and friends.
Okay.
So we're going to have to work on a different. So, I like this. Do you want to dance? So a little pull. I don't want to make too much eye contact with him. It's not like some dogs will just start screaming and trying to get away. Okay, that'll work.
Right.
So this may not work for him. I can feel his little feet start gripping, oh. But you have to be able to outlast him too. Don't give up too soon.
How do you know when you've held it long enough?
Well, now he's hanging on me a little bit. Well, I want him to struggle a little bit.
Which he's doing.
Yeah.
Now he's going to try to nibble on your hand.
Good boy. You don't eat anything afterwards. Let him, he gets shaken off. So I'd like to see some of that stress shake off, or just the whole body shake. That's
He does
really,
that. He does that a lot. So that's getting rid of stress.
Yes, yep. And sometimes you can facilitate it with a, if you give him like a full sort of body rub if you need to, and see if he'll just shake that off. So you can do that if you feel like, I don't know, if you've done some Tellington touch or the people around, you could try to just do this and see if he'll just sort of shake that off a little bit. Thinking about it. No. All right, so I want you to tell me again about this.
The GPS device?
Yes. So this is a GPS on his collar. And why do you have this?
What we found with this dog when we got him is if you opened a door, he'll try to get himself out.
Mm-hmm.
So particularly if you have somebody come to the door and opens the door
Right.
that may not know him, he would get out and go running. And then of course we couldn't find him. And we'd be in a panic going all over the neighborhood. So we got this GPS device, and what it does is once he leaves our perimeter, it starts sending you text messages on my smartphone.
Wow.
Telling us that he's out. And then from there, you can actually push a button that says start tracking.
Really?
So it'll show me a map of where exactly he is.
Wow.
But it'll also track and give me a way to get there to get him.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really amazing. And it's seconds. It happens like immediately.
So how does the perimeter get set up?
You set the perimeter on a map. So you set it up on your computer.
Okay.
And then you set the perimeter on the map itself. It shows you how to do it.
Okay.
It walks you right through it.
And where did you get this?
I actually bought that at Verizon. There's a company called Tag, T-A-G-G, and they're the people that actually are the purveyors. You can also buy them online.
Okay.
I just happen to be at Verizon, that's all.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's great for a dog like this that, has come to us with some bad habits and runs. I think he'll eventually not run, I'm hoping, but...
All right, so he's a door dasher. I want to go into your kitchen and to the back door that I came in and show you how to work on some of that door
Okay,
stuff.
that would be great.
All right, so the other place, so go ahead, step into him. Good. Good, nice. For body blocking, besides when he jumps on you, is at the door. And this will take, this is going to take him some time. He's young and he's been successful charging out and having a really good time. Because even though you're worried, and I think it's fantastic that you have this GPS on him, he still should learn to not charge out a door just because it's open. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open the door and I'm going to step into him until he looks up like that. He might sit, but I prefer him not to turn away from me. I kind of feel like when a dog does that they're changing the conversation. They don't want to really pay attention to what I'm trying to tell them to do. Okay. So we'll start by opening. And I'm going to step right into his face. Good boy. It's not necessary to treat, you certainly can. And I want to be able to make sure he's not going to go forward. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. So I'm going to treat him for that. Good boy. Just as a little added bonus. Okay. So you're going to practice this with the leash. Excuse me, David, I'm going to have you do it next. Preventively. Okay, excuse me, so he doesn't obviously get away. Good boy. He's like, where's the food?
Where's the food?
I'm going to give you a piece to give him. So he is so food motivated, there should be no problem teaching him stuff.
I
None.
didn't realize he was that food.
Good. Yep. Good. And he sat for you. Perfect. Nice. Now I'm going to have you turn as if you're going to go out, but you're not, just to make sure he's going to stay there. Good. And I'm going to have you give him another piece. Good. We'll do that one more time. Close your door. And this time open it from the other side, so it's a little more, he's a little more vulnerable to going out. So
Okay.
good boy. Look at him looking around. Who's got the food? There's a couple pieces. Nice. Very nice.
He'd have dashed out by now.
Oh, yeah.
Right, and that's not to say when I'm gone and you actually open the door for something that he's not going to try to do that all over again, but enough. He's highly intelligent. He's not even moving.
No.
Yeah, he's very food motivated.
Yeah. And you're not even having to block him. He's still staying back past this
Yep.
thing. And, you know, we haven't rung the doorbell yet, so maybe we'll do that next. So let's switch and have Karen. Now step into him. You didn't tell him about that. Yes. Good boy. I mean, there's food involved in staying inside the house. Who wants to go out? I think that's great. All right, so let's close the door. We'll have Karen do it next.
Okay.
And I'm going to knock on your wall. See if
Okay.
we can set him off. I knew you did that. But, so walk into him. Walk into him. Yep, even if he's... No, it's just smarty pants. No, it's not the door. So try just knocking on the door. Good boy. And I'll just open it, and you're going to get ready to body block him. Now. Step into him. Yep. Good boy. I'm going to try to get you. You don't seem to like the slime factor. So these generally are slimy, but they're with the hot dogs and things. Now block them because you didn't tell them to go forward. Okay, now open the door. So if the door's open and he stays put, you can be paid for that. That's
Wow.
nice.
That's amazing.
Good. All right, so we're going to do it again. David, can I have you go out and just ring the doorbell?
Okay.
And then you can actually open it to say hello,
Okay.
but you're going to still block him, so it may not be a smooth door opening adventure, because the goal is to keep him in place. Good. Block him. Good. So now you just hang on, David. She'll open the door. Block him. Walk into him. Walk into him. Good. So nothing. No food because he's barking. Good boy. Good. Yeah. So do it one more time, and David, wait until Karen opens the door for you,
Okay.
like you're a guest. Good. Block him again. Yep. One more time. Yep. So, yep. One more time. Yep. Good. Now feed him. Good.
Good boy. Good boy.
Good. You feed him again.
Good boy.
Good.
Oops, sorry, I missed it, Mr.
Good. Perfect.
Okay.
Perfect. So much harder, obviously, when the doorbell
Right.
rings, and then we got some barking, but it wasn't sustained.
Okay,
The
no,
barking did not continue on and on and on.
no.
And you know, if I anthropomorphize, he's like, what? What's happening now? You're what? You're walking into my space, and I'm getting food for other things. Like he's clearly thinking. I think
Okay.
part of the issue is he's probably a few steps ahead of you guys right now. Yep, good, perfect. You should find that the jumping on you diminishes very quickly with
Okay.
consistent body blocking.
Okay.
When people come into the house, I would have him leashed, and normally what I do is I just step on it like this. Then I don't have to have my full attention on him.
Okay.
I can say hello and do whatever I need to do, and he may, and
Right.
but he's not going to practice jumping on people.
Okay.
And then if he actually were to sit, or I asked him to sit, I could also treat him while people are coming in.
Okay, that's
He needs something else to do.
Okay.
And people come in, they'll say, I'm in my jeans, I don't care.
Right.
And then
they say, and he jumps on them.
right.
Right.
And dogs are not about, he will learn fairly quickly, just don't jump on me, because I can't help it, I just start communicating immediately. But otherwise, dogs don't understand, they're about black and white. It's either, yes, I can jump on everybody, or no, I cannot jump on anybody.
Oh, okay.
It's much easier for them if you're very consistent and don't jump on anybody,
Okay.
okay? And it has to start with you.
Okay.
That he's not jumping on you. Sitting on the couch, asking him to get up on you, that's fine because you're inviting him up on
Right.
the couch.
Yep.
Okay. Look at you, you're being a superstar.
Boy, it's amazing how, there's a huge difference in him, but he's much calmer.
Mm-hmm. I do.
Yeah.
You know, and I recognize not everybody does, but you can get some very nice, Bill Jack, I can show you the little box, has some nice little liver treats that go easily in your pocket,
Okay.
that are a little higher value than kibble, but aren't gonna be all, you know, like I don't wanna put chicken in my pocket, although I have, but I prefer not to, you know? The Natural Balance is a really nice treat. That was the last one I gave you. It was a
Okay.
little slimy
Yeah, that's
because
nice.
it was on the hot dogs and
Right.
chicken, but that is dog food.
Okay.
And it's in a tube, and I cut it up in baggies, and then I freeze it, and I just pull it out as I need it. So they're not getting a lot of extra garbage.
Right.
They're just getting some food.
Okay.
And the same with the kibble. You can mix the kibble with chicken, cheese, hot dogs, whatever you want, and then it starts to taste like that without actually having to give them all the chicken and cheese and stuff.
Great idea.
But he's very cerebral. He is learning all the time. And he's really been a few steps ahead of you guys.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt.
All right, let's go back into the family room. I would get a variety of brain toys. And you could have, you have 3 dogs, so
Right.
you could have 6 or 9 Kongs if you wanted everybody to be able to partake in it.
Okay.
But he Ollie being the youngest, needs the most focus
Okay.
right now. And it may be that Hannah and French just go to another room while you do your training sessions.
Okay.
Your training session can be with a meal, so it can be instead of putting the bowl down and instead of giving a brain toy, you're going to use that food to train this to lie down.
Okay.
I'm going to try one more time with it down. I'm not going to be overly optimistic, but if you won't do it, then I want to just talk you through how to get him into a relaxed position, because that's going to be important. So we'll do this one more time. So see now how his wrist is not quite bent yet? Right here. So his elbow here is,
Yeah.
now it's bent here. We're probably gonna get just as far as we did before. So when he actually lays down in that Sphinx position, you will take this treat and you will turn it close to the floor to his shoulder.
Okay.
And that, when you do that, that will make him relax his body, so he'll be in a little semicircle.
Okay.
And, yes, I know, what a good boy, thank you. And when, every time you lure him into down, you're gonna turn his head so he's relaxed. Every time. So
Okay.
that when you say down, he will automatically go down and put himself in that relaxed position. So this is him thinking,
Okay.
right? Like I'm saying, the only other thing I know is this.
Right.
And you know how to do the rollover?
I don't. Hannah learned by watching my last dog, and I don't remember how I taught her, but
Sure. To see about, so you also said something about sit pretty. So we want him to get, he has to learn to balance on his haunches. So I'm gonna let him nibble, and I'm watching his feet so that I can try to get both feet off the ground. There, and then you can have a couple pieces.
okay.
Okay.
Good.
So we're gonna lure back, throw him off just enough bent there. Good boy.
Good boy.
And he's gonna get a big piece for that. Good boy. Very quick, huh? Now, if you really wanted to work on getting this foot up, I would try it again. Food. Good boy. See, just until he lifted it up, and then I was gonna help him. Good boy. Again, when the food happens is what's going to be important. So, I'll give you a piece of slimy chicken. Just try
slimy
this.
chicken.
Sorry, just try to sit pretty.
You want me to do the sit pretty?
Yeah.
All right.
Just so you get the feel before we wrap up.
No, no.
Nice and slow. Just tip him back and then watch his front feet. Oh, good. You can slowly tip him back just a little bit more. Just watch his feet, not too high. Not too high. Tip him back a little bit until those feet come up. There, right there. Good.
Good boy.
Good. Good, good. Very nice.
Off goes the slimy chicken.
Yeah, and you'll start to see him, you know, figuring out how to balance, and he's got to strengthen all the muscles that require him to do that. It's not just a natural position, but there's no question he's going to be able to do that. I'm not going to do the rollover. It's too hard without him actually in the down position to do that, but we can talk about that after. All right, so we've talked about jumping, body blocking is going to be what you guys do, and you're going to leash him and step on it when family and friends come over, so he just never has an opportunity to practice. You are going to get really good at brain toys so that he can You don't have a training day, you're too tired, I don't care what the reason is, just give him some brain toys. Feed him out of brain toys. Poodles are hunters, and he needs to be thinking and working his brain in some other way.
Okay.
I have a feeling that you could run with him. Do you run with him?
I ran with him when I was in Florida.
Okay. It probably doesn't really do much. Does it take the edge off a little bit?
It does. If I run a couple miles with him, he's pretty good. He's much calmer.
Okay, good. The problem with that is you're gonna have to start to run longer.
Right.
He'll get. What's the word? He'll get. I was saying he's gonna get exercise. He'll get conditioned.
Okay.
Oh, 2 miles, that's great. I'm gonna go some more? Right. Oh, now 4 miles, oh, that's great. Okay, now what are we gonna do, right? So, unless you're training for a marathon and he can come along with you, he still needs that, I call that large motor skill movement.
Okay.
That's definitely gonna be beneficial to him, but not, he's gonna need all of these approaches. Around the door, body blocking, and you should practice just like we did with the two of you before you ever really need it when somebody comes in.
Okay.
And leash so preventatively so he doesn't successfully get out anymore.
Okay.
We'll get a leash. And he may just drag around the leash around the house until you get some of these things under control.
Okay.
Okay, any last questions?
Oh, those were big ones, I
Those are
think.
big.
Yeah, if we could get that down, boy,
Okay.
he'd be great.
He is great. Look at him.
I know, he's the perfect dog now.
He is a perfect dog. All right. Okay.
And I think you're right, he learns quickly,
Yes.
which is really exciting.
Oh, yeah. When he was sitting with the door open, he was looking for David and I. David and I, where's the food coming from?
Ah.
And we'll fade that food over time. He does not need it, for the rest of his life. But he's young, and he's in kindergarten, so he needs a lot of reinforcement very, very quickly to really convince him, not to convince him, to let him know this is the behavior I want. This is the one that's worth repeating for me.
Okay.
Then all the other things we don't want anymore, and I don't want you to repeat those. Okay? Any other questions before we wrap up?
I'm good.
I'm good.
All
Boy,
right.
really, thank you so
Good.
much. We really appreciate
Oh,
it.
that's great. Well,
Yeah.
it's my pleasure. This has been a lot of fun.
Changed dog already. We love that.
Great.
Great.
Thanks for watching this episode of Doggy Dilemmas. I look forward to seeing you next week.
If you have a doggy dilemma, Denise can help. Visit www.denisemazzola.com for more information. Denise Mazzola is a certified professional dog trainer tested through the Association of Pet Dog Trainers. The association requires recertification every 3 years with a minimum of 30 hours of continuing education. She has been training dogs and working with families for over 20 years.